Hello everyone, in this video I will be discussing how we can design user form for track planning. This is the user form that I have designed for track planning. User form for track planning can be designed in two steps. First we have to design the user interface, so we need to design this user interface and then we need to do the coding for each element that we have added in the user interface. First, I will discuss about the designing of user interface. So for that, let me close this user form and let me take you to Visual Basic. So you can insert a new user form from Insert User Form, and the new user form has started. These are all the controls that you can add in your user form and make a new user form as per your requirement. Now let me take you to the user form that I have designed. So this is the user form that I have designed for tracking planner, and I have used all these controls in this user form. So let me explain you what all controls that I have used for designing this tracking planner. So name, phone number, track preference, lunch preference, date, mode of transport, and maximum to spend are labels. So this is the label and I have used that in here. For name and for phone number I have used the text box. So this is the text box that I have used for name and phone number, so I can get the name and the phone number from the user. For track preference I have used the list box. So this is the list box that I have used for the track preference. For the lunch preference I have used the combo box. So this is the combo box that I have used over here. For the date I have used the checkbox. So this is the checkbox that I have used for the dates. For mode of transport I have used the option buttons. So this is the option button that I have used from the controls. Maximum to spend I have used the text box, and this is the text box that I have used from the controls, and this is a spin button which will increase and decrease the maximum to spend, and this is the spin button that I have used over here. And OK, clear and cancel are the command buttons, and this is the command button that I have used. Now, first I will make changes in the caption of all the labels, and after that I will make the changes in the text box for the name, and the name change I have made as name text box. For the phone number I have made the change in the name as the phone text box. For track preference, I have made the change in the name as track list box. For lunch preference, I have made the change in the name as lunch combo box. For date, I have not made any change in the name of the checkbox, and I have kept it by default, which is checkbox 1, checkbox 2, and checkbox 3. For mode of transport, similarly, I have not made any change in the name and I have used the default name. And for maximum to spend, I have made the change in the name of the text box as money text box, and for the spin button, I have made change in the name as minus spin button. For the command button, I have made the change in the name as OK button, and for the caption, I have changed the name as OK. For the clear command button, I have made change in name as clear button, and for caption, I have made change in name as clear, and for the cancel, I have changed the name as cancel button and changing the caption as cancel. For the user form, I have made the change in name as track planner user form, and for the caption, I have made the change as track planner. Now the caption will be visible in the user form and the track planner user form will be visible in the project explorer. For the command button, OK button will be used in the code and OK caption will be visible in the user form. Now in the sheet 1 we have to write the title as name, phone number, track preference, lunch preference, date, car and maximum to spend. And from the insert we need to add command button active X control. So this is the command button active X control. And I have changed the caption as preference form. So the designing part is over. Now I will take you to the coding part. So for the coding part, first we need to initialize all the elements that are there in the user form. For that, let us double click on the user form. So the sub for the user form is open. In the user form, you have to select initialize. So the sub routine for the user form initialize will start, and whatever code you write inside this sub will be used for initializing the user form. So the code that I have written is, first I am making the value of name text box as empty, then phone text box as empty, and clearing the track list box, and then giving the new item to the track list box. I am emptying the lunch combo box, and then adding the entries to lunch combo box. Then I am making all the checkbox for the dates as false, and then I am keeping the car as a default mode of transport. For money text box, I am clearing the value inside the money text box, and then I am setting the focus on the name text box. So whenever I start a user form, the cursor will be there in the name text box. So this is the code for initializing the user form. Now I will explain you the code that I have written inside the spin button. Let me double click on the spin button. So whenever I make any changes in the spin button, it will give the value to the money text box. And the range that I have used for the spin button is minimum 100 and the maximum 1000. Now Now we will code for OK button. So when I double click on the OK, the subroutine for the OK button click will start. The main objective of the code inside OK button is to copy all the data that user enter into the sheet 1. So first I am defining empty row as long. Then I am activating sheet 1. Now I am finding the empty row, and then I am transferring all the information that the user entered into the sheet 1. So I am transferring one by one. First I am transferring the name, then phone number, then the track list preference that user select. So what track user wish to go, then the lunch preference that user selected, and then the date preference, then the mode of transport, and then the money that user wish to spend, and answer. Now click to clear command button. So when the clear button is pressed, the code inside clear button subroutine will get executed, and the code that I have written here is called user form initialize. So it will execute the code that I have written inside user form initialize subroutine. Now let me double click on cancel. So when I click on cancel, it will execute the code that I have written inside the cancel subroutine. And the code I have written is unload me, which will close the user form. Now let me take you to sheet 1. In the sheet 1, we have inserted a command button. So when I click on the command button, it should execute the code that is there inside command button 1. And the code that I have written is track planner user form dot show. So it will show us the user form. Now the coding part is over. Now let me use this user form and show you how it works. So preference form, and in that I can write name, phone number, some random number, track preference, and then lunch preference, and then date I can select multiple days also I will select, only July 11th, and then mode of transport, let me select bike. For maximum to spend, let me select as 500 and okay. Now let me add other person. So let me add Sam, whose number is this, is interested in other track, and then is interested in North Indian food, and the date preference is 11th and 18th, and then the mode of transport has car, and the maximum to spend is 1000 and okay. Now let me clear this form. So if I press clear, it will execute the initialized code that we have written, and it is clearing all the data in the user form. And let me close this form. So Sam has entered two dates, and these are the two dates that the Sam selected. And that's how we can create a user form for track preference. Thank you.